Today, we've got a diesel engine in there. It's been sitting in there for close to 4 years, hasn't been started. And I'm not too sure what's in there. Might be a bunch of animals. I'm not too sure. But I've got my snips here. All I got to do is cut all the cords. Let's get to it right now. And let's take this off. And then I'm going to start it. And it's completely bone dry. There's no diesel in it. And for you that have never seen it before, it's the exact same one that I showed last month up at my camp, my diesel log splitter. And this is the engine. And I told you I was going to show you this. And let's get to it right now. If you haven't seen the diesel log splitter video, I'll put a link down below and you can watch that if you like. And I think it's quite unique. Not too many people have a diesel log splitter. And I built that by myself, matter of fact. Let's get to it. Let's take this off. Okay, this should be a lot of fun. Because I don't know what to expect. Okay, I got all the string off. Oh, look at that, there's another tarp in there. Okay, I got some string. I gotta cut that string. Boy, when I tie something up, I tie it up. Okay, let's try this again. There we go, another tarp. But there's a diesel engine in here somewhere, isn't there? And we got some plastic. Okay, I don't know if you can see that very much, but yeah, there's a diesel engine in there. I'm going to take the rest of it off, then I'm going to show you exactly what it looks like, and we're going to start it up. So let me just take all this stuff off, and we'll come right back. Let's just take a look first at the engines when I first got them. And the first picture here is exactly what was sent to me from the manufacturer. Just a picture of the engine in their facility. And the second picture here is one of the engines sitting there on top of my table saw. And that's how I got it. It was just exactly like that. And the third picture here is the two engines built up. And one of them is the log splitter that I have a link down below if you want to take a look at that. And the second one, well, I'm not too sure what I'm going to do with it. It's got 56 hours on it because I actually ran a gen set out of it. I'll see if I can put a picture in here of the gen set that I made using an automotive alternator. And I ran that to build a lot of the stuff I have up in my camp. And I disassembled it, put it back in the crate. And now I'm not too sure what I'm going to do with it. Well, here we go. Are you ready? I got a little bit of a flashlight here so you can see everything. And right here is where the exhaust comes out. And of course, I tied that up. You should always do that. You know, tie it all up and put a bag over top so nothing can go in there, right? And it keeps the moisture out too. And everything you see on here is stuff that I had to fabricate myself. Now, if you take a look in the last picture there that I showed, well, I had a small little filter on the end here for the intake, and I decided to go, if you take a look way in there, yeah, that's a 5.9 Cummins diesel filter in there. So that's a little bit different, so I plumbed that in there, and that's worked out great. And I had to design my own throttle, and to do that, I had to know the exact horsepower. So of course I got a manual. You know, I'll show you this manual I got. But anyways, there's a little bit of diesel in the bottom there, and that just came out from the filter and I guess the lines over time. And of course I had to put, the only thing that's changed is I put a fuel stop on it. I had a solenoid before off a starter that I used for that. And it worked great for so many years, but you know what? I decided to go with the original fuel stop solenoid. And of course I had to put a fan on it. I had to put all this mounting on. And you'd be surprised the stuff that I used. Like that rad is out of a Chevy Sprint, and the coolant lines and everything, well, you see the metal piece there next to the clamp? Well, yeah, I had to fabricate that elbow. You could not find that elbow in a million years to make it fit on here. And this is the throttle here, and on this one here you can just adjust it, just turn the knob. And I've got a fuel drain and a fuel shut off, and here's my battery tray. Now if you take a look at the engine that I started up my log splitter, I just ran battery cables to it, right? But there was a huge voltage drop. And here's the muffler. 1956 Alice Chambers Combine muffler. And guys, I found all this stuff because I used to work part-time at my buddy's parts store. And I got to go through all the books and the manuals and find the exact same setup that I could use that would match everything. And it was a challenge. So here's the, there it is right there. So how many hours is that there? Yeah. So I was close. And so I've just got a voltage gauge, just as the same as my log splitter. Temperature, you know, and warning lights. And this thing will shut down if anything goes wrong. You know, loss of oil, loss of coolant, overheating, loss of voltage. So I've got a whole bunch of stuff set up here. And yeah, I tie strapped the keys to it. And yeah, I remember putting this stuff on the top side here. So I put new coolant in 2015. So this is from 2015. And I put down here that the alternator belt is loose. So yeah, I got to tighten up the alternator belt first because I didn't want to leave it tight on there all them years, right? No sense having that. And this is the control center. I'll take them screws out and show you what's in there because I have to go in there and disable the alternator because I'm just going to use a booster to boost it with. And I don't want to go on full field when I disconnect it. And right on the back here is the voltage regulator. Now originally I had it inside, but you know that thing gets smoking hot. So I put it outside and right next to the fan, and that keeps it nice and cool. So this is the far side of the engine here. And of course I had to put everything on here. A starter, had to put the plate on the back there for a pulley. And if you can see here, yeah, I just sprayed it down with some fluid film and make sure that nothing rusts. And that's it right there. So I'll take you up on the bench before we get her started, and I'll just show you my manual. Okay, so I thought you'd get a kick out of this. These are all the parts. I documented every part that goes on this. And of course, you need a manual. And this here is my performance curves for horsepower and torque, because this is a 3600 RPM engine, and I've been running it at 1800. So you have to know exactly how much horsepower you have at 1800, and that shows you that. So this is the complete manual for this. And there's the series and everything. And you know, you'll be lost without a manual showing you everything. And this is a complete manual for a total rebuild. But I don't think I'll ever need to use it. But let's get to it right now. And I'll get this all set up so we can try and start it. Well, to get this thing started, the first thing we have to do is, this is the fuel bleed. And you just got to crack that open. And then as I start to crank it, fuel will actually come out of here. And let's get to it right now. Well, the first thing we got to do is actually put some fuel in it. And if you take a look down here, I'm not too sure if this valve is open or closed, but the fuel should go in there. And I'm only going to put enough in here so it'll run for like maybe 20 minutes or so. That's about it. Any fuel go in there? Well, I don't see anything going in. There it goes, right there. There we go. Okay. Okay, the first thing, I put a new battery in. Second thing is I'm going to have you zoomed in right here. And that's the bleeder valve. So that's open right now, and when she starts to crank, it should leak down there. And let's take a look. Let's get her started. Okay, you ready? I'm just going to start turning it over first, and we'll see if any fuel comes out. There you go, right there. You see the fuel starting to come out there? So as soon as you start to see it coming out, I shut her off. So I'll back you up here, and we'll see if this thing's going to fire up. Okay, so this time I got to put the glow plugs on, get her good and hot. I got the exhaust pointed towards the outside side door. And let's give her a shot here. Guys, she still needs to be bled. There, I can see some coming out. Let's try it again. She's gonna fire, guys. I'm just gonna give her some more glow plug. Here we go. Oh! She's gonna go. Nah, still needs to be bled a little bit more. She wants to go. Okay, I'm just giving it a little more throttle here. We'll try this again. Still needs to be bled out a bit more, guys. Yeah, I can see the bubbling coming out there. Okay, let's try it now. I think she's still not out of air. Yeah, there's some more bubbles coming out there. Okay, let's try her again. Well, isn't that sweet or what? Okay, I'm going to turn you around. I got the panel off the side here, and I'm going to show you what it looks like inside the control panel there. Okay, guys, this is the control panel here. I got a flashlight in behind, and you could see all the wires in here. You'd never know there's this much to go to making a harness up, but yeah. I mean, I got relays in there, you know, running off a negative, running off a positive, triggered off of, you know, either one. And I've got a delay timer, this one right there for the stop solenoid. Guys, yeah, there's a lot to it. You take your time and anybody can do this. I'm telling you what. Now, the only thing I've done, a friend of mine is a master electrician, and he said, Steve, doesn't like the idea of me putting all them grounds into the wood, because he swears that wood can be conductive, and but he said, you know what, for your system, no problem, because you know, but I mean, can you imagine one wire at a time doing all this? Well, what do you guys think? You know what, this engine here is just terrific. And you know, there are ways to actually bleed it a lot faster, but I like to build up a lot of, you know, oil pressure first, turn it over quite a bit. It's been sitting there for like since 2015. And for 2015, yeah, I'm saying it started just fine for me. And it ran for maybe a half an hour. I'm just going to let it run now, you know, after the video, and wait till it just runs out of fuel. But you guys let me know what you think I should build with this. Because I'm not too sure what I'm going to do with it. I may sell it. I don't know. Like, I mean, I can't think of anything productive, I mean, that I could build with this. You know, I don't want to build another log splitter. I already have one of them. So I really don't know. But it is so fuel efficient, and it takes forever to warm up. It's got a 5-quart oil pan. Now these engines were originally designed to run in reefers and for gensets for United States military. Now these engines were surplus engines from Kubota, from a company, I believe the name is Mercon, out in Ottawa. And like I say, way back then I bought 2, had them shipped to my door, and I thought, what am I going to do with them now? Let's build some engines up. And that's what I did one winter. I built both of them up from scratch. And that 5-gallon tank, that would probably last you, I would say, if you had it hooked up to a genset, man, I'm thinking probably 3 days solid running. This thing runs on next to nothing fuel when you set it for 1800 RPM. So thanks for joining me here today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and come back again and let's have some more fun. Cheers.